Ed here with a Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Andycine A6 Plus field monitor. Now you may have already noticed from the packaging, this is a 5.5-inch display. It does permit you to load your own 3D LUTs, so that's a nice touch if that's something you need. And it is an actual touch monitor. So this is really taking direct aim at small HD, Atomus, those types of monitors, but still at a budget price, $229 US. This was furnished to me by the manufacturer. Previously, I had unboxed and I have been using the A6 Lite, which is more of a budget-conscious one. No touch screen here, but still much of the same feature set. Of course, no 3D LUT, but a very nice and very lightweight, functional piece of hardware if you're looking for a field monitor. Now, if you're a little bit more advanced, that's where this comes in. So I've already mentioned the 3D LUT. I've already mentioned the fact that you have touchscreen, but let's get into what else is there. Of course, you see 4K all over this box, and that's because it does accept a 4K signal, and it can also, it has a loop on board, so it can actually output that 4K display, 4K signal rather. So that's another nice touch. Immediately out of the box, let's see what we have here. And don't worry, I will be doing a follow-up on this, demonstrating it with one of my mirrorless cameras. We have an actual visor for the display, which is standard fare from just about every monitor manufacturer out there. So that's just going to Velcro right on. Next, we have the actual display itself. And this is a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier than the A6 Lite, but that is to be expected. So a little bit beefier on the build quality. And if we go ahead and take a look at the bottom of the field monitor, that's where I'm going to start. We have our SD card. That is for you to import your 3D LUTs. And once they're loaded up, you don't, of course, need to keep the SD card in there, whether you want to use your own or ones that you purchase. Either way, if you're a little bit more advanced and looking for that capability on a field monitor, so this means a higher level of production quality than what you would be doing with something like the more budget-friendly A6 Lite that I pulled out before. You've got it. You also have a DC input if you want to power it not using a battery. So that's, of course, a nice thing. 1/4 20 mount here, headphone jack right here for monitoring. Flip it around to the right side. We have another 1/4 20 mount. And then on the top, flip this around this way, we have our power button, which also gives you the ability to turn on and off, trying to bring it into focus here, move that out of the way, to turn on and off the touchscreen. And then you also have a menu dial, essentially a jog dial, to move through all of your menus. So I happen to like this already because you're going to be able to access the menus on touchscreen. In addition to that, you have the ability to pinch and zoom, I believe, not necessarily through steps. I'll see once I actually put it through the paces. And that's another big thing that you simply cannot do seamlessly with the A6 Lite. So you are getting more for your money. On the left side of the unit, we have our HDMI loop, so HDMI in and out. So if you do need that output, if you plan on connecting this to a recorder or just another monitor, something larger, then you have that flexibility. And then we also have a DC out. So if you want to power other devices, let's say you're using a battery on here, which is what we have on the back. This accepts both Canon and Sony batteries. They just go in reverse orientations. You can see SF970 there and CE6 there. So it's just a matter of which orientation. Your lock button right there for releasing the battery when you want to actually get it out. And that's pretty much it. So I like what they've done here with the A6 Plus. Of course, I'm going to use it and find out how much I actually like it. Let's see what else we have in the box. That's pretty much it. Move over the monitor, and we're on to some paperwork, cleaning cloth, and introduction. Not going to take you through that. We have an HDMI cable, of course, for connecting this monitor up to your camera of choice. And then we also have what appears to be a guard, unless that is how it, nope, this is how it actually mates with the sunshade. So just for all intents and purposes. And then last but not least, the exact same mounting system, at least it appears, for your hot shoe on your camera of choice. And then the ability, of course, they do give you another mounting point in the event that you want to utilize that for something else, so that in giving it up, you still have another spot to use. Now, again, to reiterate, this is only an unboxing. I will be giving you a relatively swift update on my experience with this, but just side by side, taking a look at the A6 Lite versus A6 Plus, you can see the Plus is significantly larger, but you have to remember menu system, overall functionality here, and of course having the 3D LUT capability puts this into another class. So where I couldn't say the A6 Lite could compete with more expensive field monitors, but rather it's just a great budget field monitor, here we actually have something that Andycine is aiming to compete directly with Small HD and Hdmi. Of course, sans any recording capability, but still with the flexibility and overall, I would say, feature set that you'd actually desire. Now, in terms of powering it up, I'm just looking if I have a battery right here. I believe I do. So this is one of your, it's a generic Sony NP. So I'm going to just pop it in. Of course, the pins are right there, so that's the orientation you want. Hopefully this battery is going to be functional for us. Clicks in, and let's power it on. You can see the red light, so that means I do have a charge. Green indicating we're powering up. There we have it, A6 Plus. And for me, besides the 3D LUT, the thing that I'm really most interested here in is the user interface. So to bring it up, make sure I have touchscreen on. So there you see it. I just toggled and we went from off to on. So now with a double touch, it brings up the menu system. So now I've got the menu system up and we can just actually dive into all of the different features. I'll be doing this on camera when I actually take it through the paces as opposed to today's unboxing video. But you can see we have histogram, focus assist, audio meter, zebra, of course, monochrome, false color, losing the menu. Then you can, of course, jump into the next array of features there. Also, essentially, this is where we get into your zoom capability, aspect ratio, all of those things. I mean, it's got it all. So I really like, in terms of the menu system, I think this is, I'm not going to say anyone should purchase this just for the menu system, but this, you are getting what you pay for with the A6 Lite in terms of having to deal with a little bit of a mess compared to a much more consolidated menu system that's at your fingertips. Now, you don't have to use the touchscreen if you don't want to. You can disable it, and I believe then you're working with the actual, or I may be incorrect, it may be while touch is on. Yep, I am incorrect. So there is no way, I mean, touchscreen is how you're going to do this, so this is also fairly straightforward, but again, I really think the touchscreen plus the 3D LUT is a game changer. Of course, having, DC out is something we do have here, 8 volt on the A6 Lite. We have a headphone jack. So really the only thing you're missing is, again, the touchscreen capability, ease of use with the menus, and then most importantly for, I think, a lot of users, if you're stepping up to a higher price point, better build quality, and hopefully higher fidelity, although from what I've read, these screens seem to have very similar spec, is the 3D LUT on board so that you're just good to go. And being able to pinch to zoom to see what you're actually capturing without it just being a digital zoom, if that's what this is capable of, which is what I have been led to believe, that is also a really nice feature that traditionally would put you into a different cost range. So that's pretty much it for today's unboxing. Hope you enjoyed. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.